Coming to you from the inner sanctum of the big blue house in the middle of nowhere, this is me, myself, and Flint, with your host, Flint, also known as Sean. Uh, anyway, I want to start this episode off with Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 to 30. This is the international version, the NIV. So it reads, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So, I didn't necessarily have a topic I want to talk about tonight, but I don't know that I sit down. I didn't have a topic that I wanted to talk about. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. Then it's like God spoke to me and said, in the verse, "Come unto me, all you who are weary," and that got me to thinking about, man, how many of us are tired? It's like we try to do a lot of stuff. We push ourselves. We struggle all the time. And I don't know what has been why, but here lately, well, it's been going on for a while where I'm struggling. It's like my faith isn't as strong as it should be, and I'm struggling to stay afloat. And it's like I've been doing things like pushing myself to do things, and I feel like I'm overextending myself, and my burdens are heavy. It feels like I have to do all this stuff, but I don't have the time to do it. And there's a phrase I haven't been living by it, but it's always been in my mind, and it's a phrase that I used to just live by all the time, and it was let go and let God. I need to learn to just let go again. Let God take control of things. Because I'm not necessarily good enough to make adjustments in my life to do what I need to do. So, I, like I said, I've been struggling with my faith a lot lately. It's like, where do I fit in? I know where I've been. I know where I need to be, but I don't want to go back to what I was, and I want to be more than what I am. So, it's one of them things. I feel like I'm lukewarm, and that's not where I need to be. I need to be hot. I need to be on fire for Christ, for God, for my Christian life. I need to be on fire. And I struggle with that so much. I struggle with telling people about who I am, who God is, and I don't know how to go about it. And part of it is me struggling with my words. My words are not always what they need to be. My actions aren't always what they need to be. And what scares me more than anything is in Revelation chapter 3, starting in verse 15. I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither sorry, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. You say I am rich, I have acquired wealth, and I do not need a thing, but you do not realize that you are a wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. I console you to buy from me gold refined in the fire so you can become rich, and white clothes to wear so you can cover your shameful nakedness, and salve to put on your eyes so you can see. So the part of that I want to focus on is being lukewarm. And it feels like I've been lukewarm, dude. It sucks. I don't want to be lukewarm because these are the words of Christ. The words of the Son of God saying that He would rather you be cold or hot, not lukewarm, because if you're lukewarm, He will spew you out of His mouth, which is basically pushing you away from Him. So, what I need to find that fire again. And I'll tell you my history as far as the church goes. I grew up in church all my life. I, from the time I was a kid, from the time I can remember, I was going to church Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Sunday, Wednesday evening. Then I got to the point where I got my driver's license and I was driving, and because I attended a small church, I started going to on Sunday evenings. There's a church that was close to us. My church started at 5 on Sunday evenings, and theirs started at 6 on Sunday evenings. And when mine let out, I went over there because I had friends over there. So I was going 3 times on Sundays, going to church camp, spending time with my friends that were Christians, going to VBS, which is Vacation Bible Schools. I mean, we were always going to these different church events. And when I was, I want to say 13, 14, I think I was around 13, I felt like I was pressured, I was expected to become baptized. I felt like, I knew it was something I needed to do, and when I was baptized, I don't know that I was fully ready to be baptized. And I was baptized when I was 13, 14 years old, and I really got into going to church. I mean, I was on fire. I mean, I was burning hot for it. And then when I think I was 17 at the time, I was like, you know what? I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't understand what I was doing. I'd been going to this church camp and stuff. A friend of mine was the preacher that preached at our church. He even taught the youth group and everything, and going to all this stuff with the church and everything. I was like, you know what? I really wasn't prepared when I was baptized at first. So I was at church camp and everything, and I went I went forward and was baptized. I was rebaptized, and when I went under and was submerged and washed of my sins, I felt a weight just lifted off me. Like, I don't know, it's like I was brand new. Like, I had done nothing wrong in my life, and you know, I was on fire again. I, I, my fire died down. And I mean, I was doing all this stuff, but it wasn't like I found a new passion for it at the time, and my passion was strong, and I was on fire, you know, and over the years, I I was still going to church and stuff, and you know, a few years later, in my early 20s, I got married, and I was going to church with her and everything. Then, to be completely honest, I was at there going to church with her, and the preacher at that church started talking negatively about the church that I used to go to, that all my friends went to, and everything where I grew up at, and talking about how wrong they were. And I got up and I said, no, I will not come back here. I will not step foot in this building again. So I I but I went around to a couple other churches trying to just figure out where I wanted to be, and I couldn't find the church that I felt like I belonged. And over, I mean, it was a couple years anyway after I'd walked out of that church, and I still hadn't found a place where I felt like I belonged. I felt like I couldn't go back to the church I grew up in because I would be questioned why I was coming by myself. Then after couple of years of not going, it became kind of a habit of me not going. And my first marriage basically fell apart. She left me while I was out. I was on the fire department at the time, and we were out on a call, and she left me while I was on that call. And when that happened, I hated everybody. I hated, I hated God. I hated church. I hated people. I couldn't be around people. I literally lost my job because I went into such a deep depression and hatred for everything. And I quit even trying to find a church to go to. And I didn't go back to church till 2012, I think, 2013. And I I got to going back to church. I had moved off to Camden. I I went and did. I'm not proud of the way I lived at the time, and I moved to Camden, lived there for a while. I I believe it was 2009, the end of 2009, and no, the beginning of 2010. I moved to Camden, and then I moved back here or back home in uh, 2012, and I started going to church and everything. And I found a church that I really liked up here. I said, I finally decided, I was like, you know what? I need to go back to church. I had this verse in my mind that kept saying, forsake not the assembly. And I mean, it started from thinking about that once a month. See if I can find it. And I started thinking about that like once a month. Then started thinking about it once a week. And then I started thinking about it daily, thinking, forsake not the assembly. I didn't even remember learning that in church. I don't remember where I even heard that verse. And I didn't know where it was in the Bible. And it's probably the verse that started me back on my path to salvation. And it's Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25. It says, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. That's a NIV version. The one that the way that it was in my mind was from the New King James Version, saying, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some, but exhorting one another, and as much the more as you see the day approaching. So in my mind, I'm sitting here going, I've got to get back. God's calling me back. I'm getting called back to the church where I need to be. And that kept going through my mind over and over daily. And I moved back up here and I found it. I'm like, you know what? There's a little church over in Valonia. I've seen it. I want to go visit it. And that's where I started my journey back. So basically it was probably 2007 to 2012, I didn't attend church at all because I hated everybody. Well, 2009 to 2012 was when I really hated everybody. 2007, 2008, I was mad at the church. At least the church my ex-wife went to. Bless me. So I struggled with trying to find a church from 2007 to 2009. From 2009 to 2012, I hated the church. I hated people. I didn't want anything to do with it because of my divorce and everything. So I started back in 2012, and I've been on this road of I was getting back in the fire, feeling the fire of being back in church. And here lately, in 2025, I feel like I'm struggling again. Like, I want to be that on fire Christian that I once was, but I'm struggling to find my voice, find out who I am. and uh, I don't know how to get that. So I don't want to be this lukewarm Christian that's talked about in Revelation chapter 3. I want to be this on fire, this hot Christian that knows where I need to be. But I, and I started back in the church in 2012. I found a girl that I just fell head over heels about, and we got married in 2015 and everything. And for the past few years, she's been trying to help me find myself. But I need to find myself and who I am. Uh, with that said, uh, that's part of the reason I want to start this. I started this show is to find out, try to help others. Sorry, I kept feeling like I was going to sneeze again. I had to pause it for a moment. I want to start this to try to help others find themselves, and while I'm on my journey of finding myself. Um, so I'm still gonna. I still have to set up the email address, but if anybody is that watches this or listens to this has any suggestions, you can look at my Facebook page or group that I started, which is me, myself, and Flint. And I'll accept you into the group or whatever. But you can join my group and find, send me a message or whatever. But yeah, I still struggle. I'm not who I need to be yet. I'm trying to be. I need to be more than what I am. I need to be on fire. Uh, so with that said, I want to probably one of my favorite scriptures is Psalms chapter 42, and it the song that there's a song that I grew up singing in youth group and church camp and stuff like that, and we still sing it in church and everything. But it follows this chapter, but Psalms chapter 42, and this is the way I want to end this episode. As the deer pants for the water brooks, so pants my soul for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? My tears have been food day and night, while they continually say to me, where is your God? When I remember these things, I pour out my soul within me, for I used to go with the multitude. I went with them to the house of God with the voice of joy and praise, with a multitude that kept a pilgrim's feast. Why are you cast down, O my soul, and why are you disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him for the help of his countenance. O my God, my soul is cast down within me. Therefore I will remember you from the land of the Jordan, and from the heights of Hermon, from the hill Mizar. Deep calls unto deep, deep calls unto Uh-oh. The whole thing messed up for a moment. Alright, I'm back. Deep calls into deep at the noise of your waterfalls. All your waves and billows have gone over me. The Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night the song shall be with me, a prayer to the God of my life. I will say to God, my rock, you may why have you forgotten me? Why do I go mourning because of oppression of the enemy? As the as with a breaking of my bones, my enemies reproach me, while they say to me all day long, where is your God? Why are you cast down on my soul? And why are you disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him, the help of my countenance and my God. And with that, I will come to a close with this. Have a blessed night and a wonderful rest of the wonderful day tomorrow. And I will hopefully bring you another episode tomorrow. Good night.